If you are a consultant at McKinsey, BCG or Bain, I'm sure that a lack of confidence is one of your biggest pain points. At least this is what I hear from many MBB consultants that I talk to. And they believe that if they improve their confidence, all of your problems will go away. It's one of the biggest misconceptions consultants have. Because if you think about it, confidence is an output, it's not input. It's a symptom of something big not working in your toolkit, in your way of working. So that's why you cannot work directly on your confidence. You need to improve something else. You need to address your other root causes to build your confidence. In this video, we'll discuss what confidence is, why do you struggle with the lack of confidence, and what practically you can do to improve it very fast. At the very end, I share practical life hacks of how you can improve your confidence, even if it's completely destroyed. So stay tuned and watch until the end. But before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Rustem Karymov. I am a former associate partner at McKinsey. I worked at McKinsey for 9 years, and now for already 2 years, I coach MBB consultants to improve their performance and achieve success in their consulting career. And every week, I share practical videos on how to improve your performance and how to succeed in MBB consulting. So if you like my videos, please support me. Subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave the comment and ask questions. I answer every single question that you ask. First, let's discuss a little bit more what is the pain? How does it hurt you? Lack of confidence, how does it hurt you? Lack of confidence is paralyzing. Because of that, you doubt everything you do. It prevents you to perform at your best. So as a result, partners don't see a great performance, and then they criticize you more, and your confidence gets hit again, and it decreases, and then it becomes a vicious cycle. So your lack of confidence leads to more failures and mistakes, and by itself, it destroys your confidence even further. Then you want to improve your confidence, but you don't know how. What practically you can do to improve your confidence? To better understand confidence, I want to discuss one big misconception about confidence, how consultants think about it. Because if they think about it in the wrong way, they cannot practically work with that. They cannot practically improve that. And how the typical thinking process happens for consultants. So they observe, let's say, partners. Partners are extremely confident. They can answer any questions. They can handle difficult clients. They never lose their temper. It seems like they are just superhumans. Okay? And then consultants observe them, and then they think, oh, this is what confidence is. I want that level of confidence, but I don't have it. There must be something wrong with me. Okay? I will never be like them. I will never be confident like partners. I don't have confidence intrinsics in me. And then there's multiple unhelpful implications of that. Some people believe that only highly extroverted people succeed in consulting. And then if you are an introverted person, that means that consulting is not good for you. So that's kind of one example of this unhelpful implication of this observation and misconception. But in reality, what happens is your partners, they worked in consulting maybe for 8-9 years, right? 10 years. And they themselves, they made hundreds of mistakes. They went through hundreds of embarrassing situations. So in that process, they become a battle-hardened, experienced, thick-skinned operators. Okay? And of course, now after so many mistakes and so many embarrassing situations, they learned how to deal with almost any situation that is being thrown at them. Okay? So you need to understand where this confidence is coming from. But you as a consultant, you don't have that. You cannot compare yourself to a partner. So that's not apple-to-apple comparison. And let me give you an example that I really like. I think it will explain to you what confidence is. For example, you enter a gym, your gym that you go typically, and you will find 2-3 people, like a very big, strong bodybuilders, right? They very confident, they know what they're doing, they're like very strong and powerful. Okay, you come, maybe you don't train that often. You sometimes said you don't know what these machines are actually supposed to do, and then you feel confident in that environment. You take these bodybuilders, very confident, very strong personalities, and then put them, let's say, in a chess tournament. And then also give them high stakes. So you say if you lose your games in chess, then you will lose something important for them. I don't know, money, property, career, and then see how they behave. In a moment, their confidence will be gone. Okay? So they will look uncomfortable, they will look weird, even sometimes pathetic, right? So my point that I'm trying to make is that confidence is situational. It's not intrinsic. So depending on in what situation you find yourself, you will be either confident or not confident. Are you prepared for the situation or not? And in this context, if you think about yourself, right? You joined one of the most competitive firms, consulting strategy firms in the world. Arguably, this is one of the most competitive business environment at all. The expectations are very high. The stakes for you are very high, right? So if you don't succeed, a lot of bad things will happen to you. You have a lot to lose. And then you also join and you see there's so many smart, capable, confident people, much smarter than you are, much more experienced than you are. So whatever you experience in that moment, your being inconfident is just a normal human reaction. It's actually shows that you're human, because if you want to be confident from day one, you must be a sociopath, right? Like not kind of being affected by all of these external circumstances and pressure. Something should be wrong with you to not react to that. So what I want you to understand is that what you feel is normal. Everyone goes through that. And even all of these now smart and confident people, your partners and managers, when they join, they felt the same things. Okay? So I want you to allow yourself to feel in confidence and accept it as a normality. And it's not a personality thing. It's not intrinsic thing. It's just a normal human reaction to difficult situation. So now when you accept that, let's work a little bit on practical things. And I think one important thing is I want to give you a little bit more a different definition of confidence. Okay? The way I think about confidence is accumulation of your wins and failures. Okay? So if you score too many failures, then your confidence will be reduced, destroyed, going to zero, sometimes maybe to a negative value. And then if you score many wins, then you start believing in yourself, and then you start believing in your own capability to handle situations, and then your confidence will grow. So that makes it a little bit more functional definition that we can work with. We can actually work with that. So that means that for you to improve your confidence, recover, rebuild your confidence, you must stop making mistakes, stop failing as a first step. So stop the bleeding. And then second one, we need to score more wins. The more wins you score, the more confident you become. So that becomes a little bit more practical instrument for us to work on your confidence and then have some tangible things to do, okay? So it's almost like for me, the visual concept I want you to have is that confidence is like, it's almost like if you destroy your confidence, you go into that, you dig yourself a very deep hole, right? And you are in that hole now. And then every small failure that you had kind of was digging that hole more and more, right? So how to get out of this hole? The way out is the same as the way in, okay? Climb it up. And then for you to climb up, every small win or every big win is the step going up, right? So in that sense, if you find yourself in a very difficult situation that you are not confident, you are not sure in your own abilities, you are not sure that this job is good for you, you need to find a way for you to start climbing up step by step out of this hole. And another important concept I want you to understand, the principle about confidence, is that for you as a consultant, your main source of confidence is your competence. Okay? So remember, with the partner example that we discussed earlier, partners had experience they can rely on in certain situations. They have pattern recognition. They can handle situations. The skill set is super sharp, right? Strong. So they can handle almost anything being thrown at them. But you don't have that. And you will not have that for many years until you get that experience, right? So what do you do as a consultant? You need use your competence to build that confidence in the situation that you're in. So that makes it a little bit more tangible. So first of all, your competence in certain situations you can control, okay? So the first step that you need to make is that think in what situations you find yourself not being confident, okay? Where it hurts you the most. And in most situations, these are meetings with partners or meetings with clients, okay? And arguably, I would even focus you on meeting with partners, because I think for your career as a consultant, it's a bit more damaging for you to not perform well with meeting with partners, because meeting with clients, yes, it's uncomfortable, but clients are not assessing you. They are not giving you promotions. They are not giving you ratings, but partners do. Okay, so in that sense, if we talk about the in the context of confidence, meetings with partners become the main arena where you either lose confidence or you build confidence. So if we narrow down our focus to meetings with partners, there's certain things you can do to improve your odds of success, right? Improve your chances of being confident in these moments. Number one is prepare, okay? Prepare. So that's where your competence will come from. So if you have, let's say, problem-solving session or a CTM in BCG terms with partners, prepare for that. Make sure that your materials are sharp. You have your points aligned, what you want to make. You have your insights. You know what you're going to say. So that becomes a very obvious thing to do. You will be surprised that a lot of consultants don't do it. They focus a lot on producing slides. They will do slides until the very end before the meeting starts. And then they go into that meeting and they clueless. They have slides, yes, it's there. But what they're going to say, they have no idea. How they're going to present it, have no idea, right? So in that sense, preparation as important as you creating content for these meetings. Okay. So number two, in preparation, anticipate what will happen. Okay. Anticipate how the conversation will go, what your partner's position is already, what is their hypothesis, how they look at things, what they need, what they want, what they don't want. So kind of try to model, simulate in your mind how situation will unfold, and most importantly, what questions they will ask. Okay, what obvious questions they will ask. So you almost like, can you look at your own slide and you can think, okay, if I am a partner, if I don't have the context of this analysis, what questions I would ask myself in this situation? And in most of the cases, these questions are actually quite obvious. Okay, they're almost the same. What does it mean? Why this is different? Why this is standing out? What are we saying? What is the insight here? What are the next steps? You actually can write down all of the questions that partners ask you. You will notice that after a few meetings, they start repeating. They are pretty much the same. The way I know it is because when I was in EM and AP, I used to ask the same questions again and again, and then I always would catch consultants off guard by these questions. Okay, so anticipate. The third thing that is very important for you to kind of project confidence, it's not in the context of problem-solving sessions, but overall you can decide when you communicate with your partners and managers and how you do it. Okay, these are mostly about status updates on how things are going. Maybe you want to update them on insights as well, on your findings. But if you think that you should communicate proactively with them, not waiting them come to you, then basically you choose your battles, right? Like remember it in medieval times when two armies were fighting, each army would trying to find their position landscape to be more favorable compared to enemy's army, right? So you are uphill, for example, that gives you advantage. There is some river in between. So there's some landscape advantage that you can have. The same in day-to-day project work. Make an update when it favors you. When you think about it, you prepare, you write it down, you know what you're saying, you are insightful, you are structured, you're top-down. Go and say, hey, can I quickly update you on the situation? And guess what? You will be more confident in that moment compared to a situation when, let's say, a partner comes to you, you are sitting, have no preparation, doing something your own kind of stuff, and then partner interrupts you and say, hey, Rus, what's happening? What's an update? And you're like, oh, yeah, this and that, and you just you're all over the place, and just because of that, you lose confidence. Okay? So choose your battles and then choose your time of your battle and then be prepared for that. Another one is tactical, but I find it also helps to build a bit of a confidence as well. In conversations that you have with your partners and managers, be it problem-solving sessions or status updates or client meetings, take this responsibility of steering this conversation. So that's your meeting. You are steering it in the way that you think it should go, okay? So take that leadership role in the conversation. Don't wait partners tell you what to do or how to run the meeting. You are in the driving seat. So set the agenda, kind of transition between topics, summarize what people say, play back what they said, ask questions, and then all of that. These are tactical things. I call it conversational tactics. But if you assume that leadership role and you drive the conversation, your leaders will naturally take a back seat, a passenger seat, and then we'll just kind of participate when they prompt you to do that. By itself, you being in the center and driving things will give you additional confidence points. Okay, and you also will look confident in the eyes of your leaders, and then you will also get reinforcement from them, compliments, feedback on that, etc., etc. Right? You can start small in low risk situations. Let's say only with manager or only with like lower level clients. You try to practice that, and then slowly, you kind of extend, and then start taking on high risk situations with partners, with senior clients, etc., etc. One life hack that I really like to use when I was a consultant, if you understand the psychology of your confidence and motivation, then you understand that for you as a consultant, it's actually not your current position is important, where you are in that confidence ladder or hole. It's dynamic is important. Are you improving or are you kind of declining? Okay. And because if you feel like you're improving, so today is better than yesterday, you feel like something with our psychology, when we feel motivated by that, it feels like we are doing better, then you can fake your mind, right? You can fake your brain, and then you can stack some of this, like your internal wins in a sequence. Your brain feels progress and then becomes more motivated and finds more energy and more confidence to do bigger things, okay? And you can start with small things. You make small commitments, internal commitments, and then you achieve them, even if it's hard, and then you get this boost in dopamine, and then you start this positive flywheel for yourself, right? Virtuous cycle instead of vicious cycle. Can be anything. You promise to yourself that you will do these slides by this time, you will wake up early, you will do some sport, like some fairly simple things that in your control, you can stack them up, and then you get going, and then start improving your motivation and confidence over time. That's what we actually do in my coaching program. There is a big life hack that I use to rebuild confidence for some consultants, right? So what they usually do is like they do practical exercise. They are quite significant commitment of time, and then as a result they get feedback. But some consultants usually for whatever reason, paradoxically, they have the lowest self-esteem and confidence. They do exercises very well, and when they compare their own work to other people's in my program, to the group of MBB consultants, and now I have 91 consultants in my program, they see that their output is actually better than most of the people. Okay, maybe even like top of the cohort, and that by itself gives them this fact-based evidence. Okay, so that they're actually pretty good. And one or two instances like that, people start believing that. They say, okay, maybe I'm good, actually, I can see it. It's not because Rustem tells me, not because I'm paying to Rus, and it's a kind of he just trying to make me feel good. No, it's actually I can see evidence of slides of other people, and then clearly I wouldn't do this in these slides because my standard is higher. But then if you see that most of the people actually lower than your standard, then you start believing maybe you're good. And that's by itself, convincing yourself is very important, because you inside of you have the harshest critic of yourself. That inner voice knows everything about you, every single failure that you had, and even something that you've done, you made a mistake 10 years ago, randomly it kind of likes to bring it up and torture you in the moment. You need to kind of build an evidence, build a case to that inner critic, to convince that critic that you're actually pretty good. Okay, and then based on that, people start kind of expand, right? They start kind of feeling confident, and then they start sending that signals to people. And guess what? People will pick up on that vibe. People actually like other confident people, and especially competent people, and then they will react positively to that, and then that's how you kickstart your positive momentum. And final very important point I want to make is that, remember, confidence is not about knowing everything, right? Especially for you generalist, integrative consultants, that's impossible to know everything, because everything that you do is new problems, new topic, new industries. It's not about that. Confidence is about handling any situation that being thrown at you with grace, calmness, and systematic approach. So in that sense, I always advise my clients is that be problem solvers of your own problems, be a scientist of your problems. So break down your own problems to smaller components, smaller issues. Understand what are the root causes, what are the symptoms. Try to address the root causes. If you consistently address root causes, your problems will be solved. They go away. And allow yourself to be a bit more obsessive in solving them, be more industrious, come up with systems, come up with checklists, come up with processes. And remember, competence is your main source of confidence. And because you already work in an MBB firm, you must be competent. You must be that person who can solve these problems. Just allow yourself solve them. Don't approach confidence as kind of some esoteric, mushy subject. It's a very tangible, specific thing that needs to be solved. And then if you want my help, and if you want structured coaching to go through that full development cycle and improve your performance and achieve success that you want to achieve in your firm, book a free consultation call with me. On that call, we'll discuss your current challenges, your current aspirations, what you want to achieve. And then we discuss whether my coaching program is a good fit for you and then can help you to achieve all of your aspirations. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.